Okay, I just got back from, watching a movie, and it was, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and, I thought it would be, I don't know, like, one of those movies or whatever. I personally thought it was super badass. Like, I'm into history, and I know none of this would actually happen, and I know it'd be pretty cool if it did, but it didn't, because I know vampires aren't real, or, well, vampires like that, or, but, and then stuff, so I'm not getting into it on a history base, because I know absolutely, except for, like, he killed John Wilkes Booth killed him, I really liked it, and it was really fun, and I really liked it, and then, okay, here's my perspective. I kind of wish they had a strong female character. Mary did nothing, except for at the end, she helped out. But I was kind of hoping she'd be, like, being like, he trained her so she could kill vampires and protect herself. And then she redeemed herself in my mind at the end, though. I'm not going to give away what happens. But, I also liked it with the axe and the whole thing. And then some of the chases, like the train chase and, the horse chase. Horse chase was actually really funny. And the characters were good, and the whole design of the vampires, like, they weren't different, like, they weren't, they're two fangs, pale, go out in the sun. These guys had powers. And, they could turn invisible, they could go out into the sunlight, they've adapted and stuff. And then, which was really cool. And then, also, and then they kept the mirror thing, and then, and I actually really liked it when he was pouring, because they said they died from silver, which is like, normal monster mythology or whatever, or mytho, or whatever, but I really liked it that he says when Judas betrayed Jesus with silver, silver sort of became that symbol of like, betrayal or whatever, so it's like, it kills what God puts on this earth, or what, it kills the evil that God has put on the earth or whatever, and I was like, that's so cool. I really like that. I probably messed up the quote or whatever, but I really like that. But I really like the vampire designs. Okay, this is what I need to go back on, because, vampire designs, they weren't typical vampires, with the capes and stuff. They were cool, they were vampires of the time, and the cool thing is that they put slavery, like, they kind of had this thing with slavery, where, Henry, said that, that they were, like, the three main vampires were European settlers, and with their slaves or whatever, and they use the slaves so that's their blood source. So I kind of liked that twist on it, even though it was really cruel, and they also used the Underground Railway as their escape hatch, not the vampires, Abraham and them and stuff, and it was really funny that way. Okay, back to the vampire design. I keep getting, I'm sorry. But they weren't, cape-wearing guys. They were of the time, and I thought that was really cool. And they had really cool designs where they get their, like, really big-eyed, and they're, like, dark and hollow, and they get really big teeth, and all their teeth are, it's kind of like, angelfish. Like, the ones with the lights and stuff. If you've seen Finding Nemo, it's like that, those things. But, the ones with their lights, and they have really sharp teeth and stuff, it was kind of like that. Plus, yeah, it was kind of like that, where they get where all their teeth are really sharp and pointed, and they go like, and they can like, it's like they get their mouth really big, and it was so cool. Like, and I really liked it. I'd give it, out of 10, I'd give it maybe, 6.5 to an 8. Like, it wasn't perfect, like, I really wish they'd be witty one-liners, because one-liners are, but I guess I would just ruin the movie. And I really liked it that they didn't play it off as, like, a romantic comedy where, like, most of the movie would spend of Mary and Abraham being all like, oh, we're in a romantic comedy, guys, no vampires. No, they had, like, 2 scenes together, that built up their relationship. Oh, boom, they're married, they have a kid. Like, it's not like Twilight at all, which is, I'm sad to be making a comparison to Twilight, but I really truly liked this movie, and I would see it again. I would buy it. I would read the book again. Like, I know some people might not like it because it might be too scary. Like, the jump scares, they were predictable. Like, they were oh no, there he goes, turns around, oh no, there he is, up behind him, oh my god. But some of them, like, I remember there was a scene in the train, and I was like, oh, jump scare is coming up. He opens both the doors or whatever, and then I'm just like, oh, where's the jump scare? And then he comes out from under the ground! And I'm just like, that's cool, I wasn't expecting that. Like, they showed a shot of the feet, and I'm just like, oh, they might do that, but then after he opens both of the doors, I'm like, oh, maybe they won't do that, but well, there he goes, grabs his leg, and I'm just like, oh my god. I won't tell you what happens, he just grabs the legs, and I won't tell you who, but, I don't think that's much of a spoiler, but it was so cool. And then just the way he takes the vampires down. And I wish there had been, like, you know, this, like, female, like, good female character. Like, they had, the only female characters they had were Mary and this one vampire who had a really unpronounceable first name. She was kind of cool, but I don't think she said more than 10 words in the entire movie. Which is kind of sad. But I guess. But I wish they had a strong female character who was, like, using her katanas, or, like, a bow and arrow tipped in silver, and all that stuff, and, like, swinging off things, and her, like, Henry had taught her these things, so she was just swinging, and then she's like, this is my country too, guys, and then she could be half vampire or something, like that, like Blade, like, yes, okay, sorry, there's a lot of vampire movies that have vampires in it, just making, yeah, like Blade, and then she could have been like, yeah, or whatever, and then it was really cool. And then you all know that, no, I'm not getting into that, just because people are mad at me for spoiling anything, or anything if this is a spoiler. But, I would say go see the movie if you're into vampires, if you're into Abraham Lincoln, or if you're into the actors that are in it. The actors actually did a pretty good job. Like, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who you might have seen in, The Thing and, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World as Ramona. She's also in other things, but I don't really remember. She did a pretty good job playing Mary Todd. She held her ground. I forgot the guy who plays Abraham. He's cool too. They, like, all the actors gave it their own. Like, they owned these characters. And, the movie takes place over years. Like, you see him, and then something happens, and then the next scene takes place, like, 20 or 30 years later. Like, the bulk of the end of the movie, like, maybe the last 20 to 25 minutes are him at 50, like, because the next scene after they're done fighting the vampires and stuff takes place 2 years later. But, so, yeah, it takes place, like, the bulk of the movie takes place when he's younger, and then he does something happens, plot point, stuff like that, and then it's when he's 50 something, because he died when he was 58, 2 years later. So yeah, he's like 50 to 50, like 56. Yeah, so he's 56 in the bulk, like the last 25 minutes of the movie, which is cool, because it's not like continuously, where he's young forever or whatever, and then all that stuff, which I really liked. So yeah, if you like history, which I know none of this actually happened. Kind of wish it did. But, but if you like history, if you like Abraham Lincoln, if you like the actors, if you like vampires, because they do a pretty good spin on vampires, and if you just overall like movies, I would say go see it. Bye guys.